Okay, hey there guys. So in this war we're going to be going up against SGA. Actually I don't know if I've ever said that before we faced them, but I was actually in SGA, but that was a while ago now. So I still actually know a couple of the guys there, mainly Slice them. I wasn't too close to them though. But it's always nice to see an alliance you were a part of, even if it's a while ago. When we got the matchup, kind of like some of those mid-season ones, it's a bit of a mismatch. SGA is definitely a solid alliance, but they're definitely not your like top masters contenders, probably not like top 10 masters, you know, stuff like that. They're still solid, but this war, the stress was on us, not them. Because we lost to TCN, we have to keep our deaths down, and we have to win. So, unfortunately for SGA, they got a very, very good GT40. A very, very good GT40, honestly. Yeah, that's pretty much the best way to sum up this war. They didn't do the best, but I think they did pretty well considering the mismatch going on and considering we were playing very well this war. So with this Surfer, he's going to gain those Furies very, very quickly, but because of all Doom's block and armor, the Furies don't really hurt me too much into my block. If I got hit, they'd probably hurt a little bit, but still, I'm not too worried unless I eat a high buff SP2 to the face or something. And even though I have a very consistent Nullify and Stagger, because of the node, I'm not really able to keep his buffs off too well. I'm able to not let him get too many buffs. Okay. I think it was last war I mentioned this. I don't know if I did or not. Doom's SP3 felt like it was doing not as much as I typically would get from it. So in this war, this is the war I said I really noticed it. A Doom SP3 did 15k to a Cosmic. This is a rank 4 boosted Dr. Doom with class advantage. It should do more than 15k. And it's not like Surfer had like 3 armor ups, like a ton of like all this other stuff. So I don't get why it was doing so little. I can't remember, maybe Surfer has a lot of energy resistance or something, but like here's again. So this is now a double Fury SP2, by the way. Double Fury does a little bit more, right? Does 20k with a double Fury. I slowed down an SP3 with Doom later to compare it to. If I forget to show it, just remember that that was 20k. So this fight was not too hard. It's not even that much block damage. It's really just making sure you don't eat too much to the face, or else, yeah, you'll get hit in the face and the Furies will hurt. But as long as you just land your parries, oh, and Surfer's Mystic, but that's going to be gone. So you just have to make sure you don't Dex as well. I probably could have taken Dex off for that fight if I'm being honest and just block the SP1. So now I'm switching on to Suicides because I've got 2 fights in a row that I really need Suicides for. This war, I switched masteries a fair bit. Even though I don't necessarily have to do it after a certain point, but I decide to because of how I had my mastery set up. I was like, that's fine. I'll just grind some arena with Suicides instead. Because like I already had to kind of switch them up anyway after the war. So I figured I'll just commit to Suicides and do some arena. So it's been a while since I've taken this, so it's Kitty on Power Snack. But my Nimrod is now duped, and Agent the Goat is back, by the way. The GOAT of MCOC. So he was able to apply a Petrify pre-fight for me, which is really going to help out this fight. I got to see some other people take this fight earlier in the day, so that was very helpful. I wanted to build up as many armors as I can, and then the other thing is get up to SP2 before my first set of armors is going to fall off. Because of the Power Start 1, you trigger the first miss right at the start, so you really just want to rush up there as fast as you absolutely can. Unfortunately, because mine isn't max sig or boosted as much, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's both, I don't actually kill in the single SP2, so I have to throw a couple combos, and I'm going to go for the SP1 for the energy vulnerability just to finish her off. So it's a pretty smooth fight. Kitty's always a pretty good one. Someone else is going to take this Mordo. I was apologizing for the time because this war, we weren't pressed or anything for time, but we were all waiting on each other to like have the right lineup, and one person was like always missing because we needed like 4 people for this to work out properly, so people weren't wasting boosts, and we were all just like missing each other by a couple minutes, and like right at the very end the one guy was like, well, I'm gonna have to get going, and everyone's just like kind of it was unfortunate, but he actually was able to come back right there. Typically in the past for this fight, when I do that double dash back, I just cowered out and I just back up, but there I felt confident, so I threw my light attack and I countered his heavy, even though I did a double dash back, and 12 hits in and he's already out of his first phase, and I'm really just looking for him to throw a single heavy, and finally he throws the heavy in after 3 blocks. But I don't have any neurotoxins, so this SP1 is going to go unblockable on me, which is really unfortunate because that's not where I want to waste my indestructible buff. Fortunately, I do end up still using it, and I do the little light spacing there again, and this Nick Fury goes down pretty smooth. I don't think there's too many issues in that fight for me. Fortunately, while I was checking a boost, or when oh yeah, I have to take off suicides because I got to use Doom again. So then I'm taking off suicides. I don't know why I didn't necessarily use Doom for the next fight after the one, but I think it's just because I was going to be using Surf. So I'm going to go Doom and then 3 more Archangel fights, but I could have really done 2 Doom and then 2 Archangel fights, but I think it's because the 2 final fights were going to be Archangel fights. I was just kind of supposed to use, what's his name, Archangel for the 3rd fight, just because it's Archangel and he's going to be a lot faster. Which speed wasn't necessarily a concern for this war, but it's Archangel and I'm pretty comfortable with a rank 4 Archangel for most fights. Not quite for a Korg. Don't Archangel a Korg, that is very weird. I think I'm going to throw on a regen boost here because I've got the one in overflow, and there's no reason not to use it, pretty much. I'm not expecting to take much damage early on in this fight because Doom bypasses the rock hard thorns, so there's nothing really to worry about in this fight. What is this one? This one is, it's not massive. He was so passive there, he's just standing there. That's always so scary in Alliance War because you can't attack in, or if they parry you, it's so bad. I missed that light intercept there. Sometimes just going for an open play light intercept, I'm not like 100% success rate on that, especially not right now. But I'm fine with that. So there, I just take him off his SP2 and re-parry. I'm gonna go for the 4 light hit. Oh no, I don't go for the 4 light hits. He's playing passive again there. I really wanted to get in the parry right before his rock shield came back. Oh, that's right, it's the double dash back into unblockable. So it's double dash back, and that would give him a regen if he gets like 10 regens or something. So here is the SP3 I was talking about. So Korg has resistances. Everyone knows Korg is a bit of a beefy boy. I do not have class advantage, and I do not have suicides on, yet it does 32,000. When a double fury on class advantage gave me 20k. So I should probably check Surfer's stats, but I feel like it usually does more on my SP3 than that. This Korg fight, it's super easy, super simple. I even got my SP2 off before his rock shield came back on, so I don't even have to worry about any of my incinerates falling off. If I get into this next fight quick enough, I'll have the regen boost up for one fight. But I think I just kind of decide, I don't care if I go fast enough, I'll just I think I end up just reapplying it. I think. That sounds about right. So I'm going to put suicides back on. This is what I was saying, is that I talked to my officer, and he said I didn't actually need to do it after this Korg fight because the next defenders were all rank 3. But I saw how my mastery points were, and I was like, well, I'm going to end up just running arena later that night anyway, so I'll just put on suicides. Make these fights even easier, just make them go even faster. So that's all it pretty much is. So Surfer there is pretty common. I don't feel like I've seen Nova here too much. I could definitely Doom this fight. It would not even be too hard to Doom. Doom on Buffet is not really that bad. But as long as he throws his lights fairly liberally, I'll be fine. And at first I was like, okay, is he not going to do it? But he does. I get 3 neuros, and that is literally the fight locked in, because as you see, I still have over half of my neurotoxin left, but he was below 50% health, so he just melted away in 19 seconds. 19 seconds, that includes waiting for me to be able to reparry and a fairly long SP1 animation. So that was a very, very fast fight. This is a fight I've done now, at least this node, if not this specific matchup, a fair few times over the past like 3 seasons. I really love Archangel, man. Such a fun champion to play. I know a lot of people don't like parry heavy, but I've always been a bit of a, not like a fan of it, but I like playing parry heavy sometimes. So this fight I get pretty good RNG all around, get up to 6 neuros really quick, and another 15-second fight against a mini boss, because why not? So unfortunately, I was hoping someone would be able to give me a quick little taxi, but they weren't able to. So I had to wait a little bit, and I'm going to have to reboost, which I did not like having to do. So I put on some small boosts, but I have those 20% boosts pretty free right now. I'll have to build that stock back up, and hopefully it lasts me another season. So I have this Icarus. As I said, the Surfer, or not Surfer, that Scroll, pretty common. Icarus here is not something I've seen, really. Because, so I end up throwing this potion in, but I definitely didn't need it. But I'll always play it safe. It's always better safe than sorry, right? But this Icarus here, I don't really get it. Because, right, it's about when his buffs fall off, you can falter. But his buffs don't really fall off. And he can spam specials, I guess, but... Because, right, I guess if he gets a ton of Energize up, and then he's, like, spamming specials, and he has return policy, but it's... And right after that one, I'm able to start landing my, well, I guess he gets the Vigilance, that's right. But I'm able to start at this SP1, I'm going to start countering with my heavy, because remember that Icarus boss in EOP, everyone got the counter down, so that was a really easy placement. I don't quite like the placement of Icarus there. I don't know. Maybe if, like, you have an Archangel ban. And this is why I said it was a little bit of a mismatch. 19-1... and we had 8,500 seconds, and they had 12,000, and our one death was also a DC, so we really went for 150-0 here, which super impressive performance by us, very, very proud of us. Again, for Slice'em, it's a bit of an unfortunate mismatch, right? It's a -4 for the loss, so it's a bit of a, it's a little bit of a mismatch on that war rating right there, so unfortunate for them, but it was a very nice war for us to bounce back after TCN. I mean, assuming we play like that against any alliance we face, I feel like that's a hard one to beat. So great game to Slice'em, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.